Welcome to the family, son.
So what made Resident Evil 7 amazing? Because I know it's been a couple years since its release, and we're at the twilight of the new Resident Evil 2 remake's impact on the series, and seeing so many fans out there come to show the support for this new RE title, but we have to sometimes go back and have a retrospective of the game that steered the Resident Evil ship back to greatness, using a very different style of gameplay and feel that would help turn this franchise back around, and make it one of the better titles to come out in recent history. Anyways, what is up you guys, this is DeVuH, and in this video we're going to be discussing what made Resident Evil 7 amazing, where we cover its overall gameplay, to the crazy Baker family, and the many aspects that help turn this Resident Evil franchise around. Also, before we get started, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel so you guys can get more Resident Evil content in the future. Oh, and by the way, on a quick note, I just want to celebrate for reaching over 5,000 subscribers, which is really awesome. So in honor for that occasion, I just want to shout out at least 3 people from the comment section at the end of all of my videos from now on, so stay tuned to the end and see if you're one of the people I mention. Alright, so let's start off with the past turmoil of the Resident Evil franchise before Resident Evil 7 and see how things were turned around. So RE7 was released in early 2017, with a lot of skepticism coming from the many longtime fans due to the past RE titles being received poorly. So going into this game, especially since we're put in the first person style of gameplay, Capcom laid it out on the line, emphasizing the horror aspect that made the early titles a huge success. But there was a general fear and anticipation for this game, coming from both the developers and the fan side, because this could potentially have ruined the Resident Evil franchise for good if it didn't perform well. So now needing to turn things around, Resident Evil 7 took a different approach to its overall gameplay, forsaking the over-the-shoulder aspect point of view from the last several RE titles, to now using a first-person point of view, which could have been inspired by the other successful survival horror titles like Outlast and Alien Isolation, seeing how the player can be fully immersed within the environment, giving a sense of tension when putting the player up front with the obstacles that impede in their way. Also, the saying of less is more is used very well in this game, putting us in a situation that would have us with very little ammo and playing with caution throughout our journey, bringing back that slow-paced survival horror aspect that we had from the earlier RE titles, foregoing the action-heavy style of gameplay that we saw from Resident Evil 6, letting go of the grandiose cinematic explosions and escapes with a more grounded and meticulous way of playthrough. Anyways, with the basic gameplay aside, let's do a brief summary of the story, which will contain spoilers by the way, and see where this connects with the rest of the Resident Evil lore. So the game starts off with a recording of a woman by the name of Mia, sending the video to her husband Ethan, warning him to stay away from her location.
Ethan, you were right. I did lie to you. I shouldn't have. All I can say is that if you get this, stay away.
But of course our main protagonist would investigate the whereabouts of his long-lost partner and would have it in the middle of the Baker family residence in Louisiana, as we watch him make his way in the dark and cramped environment of the house, giving a sense of claustrophobia, and the overall setting already establishes what kind of world we'll be traversing throughout the game. But as we move along, we find Mia locked up inside a cell, acting really strange, which draws suspicion of what has occurred in this place and what she's been up to in these past couple of years during her disappearance.
You shouldn't be here.
What do you mean? You contacted me.
No, I wouldn't. Did I? Did anyone see you? Did he see you?
Hey, who else is here? What the hell's going on?
Daddy's coming. We need to go.
Daddy?
We need to go now!
Because it's not long before we're put in a very different and terrifying situation with his long-lost wife, because as we continue to explore our surroundings, this happens. Mia looking completely horrific, almost reminding me of the girl from The Exorcist, which was a great and terrifying movie by the way, and having her attack Ethan countless times, using anything she could get her hands on, as we watch our characters almost helpless as he tries to defend himself from her.
yeah? Wait! Wait!
Also what's terrifying was her overall strength, being able to push back a full-grown adult like a ragdoll, and being able to withstand attacks even from an axe. But of course, adding more to the terror is their constant pursuit of Ethan, even after receiving so much trauma just a short while back. But this is even more emphasized when she starts wielding a chainsaw. But in the end of this encounter, we finally are able to hold off Mia, but we get one last surprise when we're finally introduced to the Baker family.
Welcome to the family, son.
Now bound to a chair, watching these three lunatics show their different attitudes and the way they're dealing with their new guest.
Oh shit, he's not eating it, Jack! He's not eating it!
Get the hell up, Marguerite!
Made that for him!
Get the hell out of here!
You're a son of a bitch! Oh, I can't believe it, you son of a bitch! He's not eating it! He's not eating it!
This was supposed to be a very special feast. Oh boy.
The developers already establishing the threat right in front of us, with the previous goal of saving Mia still being the backbone of the plot, but having us fight our way for survival, putting us against a different kind of threat that feels very grounded and human in some capacity. Because as we move on and explore the setting throughout the game, we're put in a situation that has us playing in the literal term of Resident Evil.
I'm coming back for you.
Now isolated in the Baker residence, as we have Jack, who was a patriarch of the family, constantly following us.
You're wasting your time!
With Marguerite and her bug-loving antics.
Look at all the pretties my little girl is giving me! Kiss me, lover!
What the hell? Get to the garage! Get some rope! Go now!
And their psychopathic son Lucas.
You see, Ethan? Everybody wants to turn back the clock! What? What, Eveline?
Putting us in a world and survival horror that feels very different from the previous Resident Evil titles, using all the tropes that makes a great horror movie, using small and dark hallways, to the unsettling sounds of their environment, and the looming dread of a young girl who seems to enjoy terrorizing our characters in her own demented way. Also, what I loved about this game was its use of its environments, taking full advantage of the Baker residence, using every bit and nook and cranny to deliver a great overall setting that has us exploring the many facets of our surroundings, from squeezing in between walls, to exploring crawl spaces that we never know what kind of terror that's waiting for us on the other side. So this style of exploration and gameplay is a constant throughout Resident Evil 7, having our characters explore many different settings, including a salt mine and an abandoned ship.
Where do you think you're going?
Ethan, please help me. Ethan, help me.
Anyways, going back to the Bakers, we encounter them in their own unique boss fights, giving many different battle dynamics that has us thinking about our every move. In the end, Resident Evil 7 delivers a sound environment, crazy antagonists, and a driving goal that has us return to what a true survival horror game should be.
Now with me, we're gonna settle this!
So overall, I plan to explore each member of the Baker family, and the many other characters that play a large role in RE7, so this will be part 1 of the series breakdown of this game, ranging from individual analysis, to covering the lore and viral strain, to doing versus videos of B.O.Ws that we encounter from this game and other RE titles from the past. So I really hope you guys enjoy the future content of this channel, and there's so much more to come. Also, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I want to shout out a couple of viewers and subs that's regularly been part of my channel's community, starting with David and his kind kind words and support for my content, to Atlas, also known as number 270, as he was part of the growth from my channel from the get-go, and to OZ88OG. So all I gotta say is thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support, and I'm happy to make content that you guys enjoy. Also, my future plan is to continue to shout out subs and commenters from the community, so always stay tuned to the end to see if you get mentioned. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my What Made Resident Evil 7 Great video. Please let me know what you guys thought about this game overall in the comment section down below. Also, if you guys enjoyed the content, please don't forget to hit that notification bell icon so you guys can be notified when I upload my next content. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and as always, you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Hey DeVuH, signing out.